Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this one, we'll be understanding how you can build an agentic workflow that can analyze Google careers and your resume to recommend roles and preparation strategies. So the high level idea is if you want to apply to Google, you will probably go to the Google careers and then you will scroll around the roles. You look around, maybe if you are a software engineer, you will be looking around software engineering roles. You will filter it by location. You can filter it by teams. You can also filter it by the seniority level. And if you are, suppose you are looking for an entry level role, then you can set the seniority level to early, right? A lot of features are there on the Google careers page, which you can utilize to look for the roles. Once you look for the roles, you'll get a list of roles, then you can click on it and then you can go to that role and you can understand what are the minimum qualification, what are the preferred qualification, and what is the responsibility for that role. And once you analyze that, then you will get an idea that whether you should apply for that role or not, or whether you should provide your resume or send your resume for that role or not, right? Now this is a lot of manual work. So in this video, we'll be discussing how you can automate all of these things. The way we are automating this is by building an agentic workflow. What that workflow will do, it will go to the Google careers page, will scan through all the open positions depending upon the filters which we have provided. And then once it fetches all the open positions, then it will gonna go through all the open positions and it will also gonna read your resume, and after reading your resume it will gonna suggest from the open positions what are the positions which is highly relevant to your resume, and these positions are those which you can consider applying for, right? Now what it can do is that it can give you top maybe 5 or 6 open positions which looks very familiar depending upon your resume. Now then what you will be able to do is that what the agent will be able to do is that it will gonna scan your resume, and it will gonna scan your resume against those top open positions which it earlier suggested, and it will gonna build a report telling what are the gaps, whether your resume fulfills the minimum qualification of for that role, whether your resume fulfills the preferred qualification and the responsibilities for that role, what are the action items you can take in order to enhance your resume so that it can increase your chances for getting for your resume to get shortlisted for that particular role. So all of these things will be documented in the report which will be generated by the agent. And at the end what you will have to do is that you can just simply go to the report generated by the agent and you can go through it. It will have the list of roles, and against all those roles it will have a detailed report after analyzing your resume that what you should do, right? So this is the high level idea of this agent. In the design as well, you can see the agent first extracts all the jobs at Google, then it fetches the top 10 recommended job roles after analyzing your resume. So suppose here is your resume, it takes the resume, it takes all the jobs, and it picks or it filter out the top recommended roles for you. For example, suppose if you are if you're looking for a software engineering position, then your resume will be more inclined toward a software engineering role. It will have more content on the software engineering domain, and once the agent pulls this content from the resume, it will gonna have the idea that okay, I have to shortlist only those roles which are software engineering related, right? So then it can give you top 10 recommendations for the job roles. Once it has shortlisted those roles, then it will gonna further analyze your resume and it will gonna further perform a deep analysis of those roles to give you a report. So it analyzes job profile against the candidate resume, and this is a deep analysis. So it will gonna go to each and every role and it will gonna understand what is the minimum qualifications, what are the preferred qualifications, and what are the responsibilities. And once all the analysis is done, it will gonna prepare a report, and this report will be at a role level. So suppose if the agent selects 3 roles for you, then it will gonna have a report in which this report content will be for 3 roles. So first role, the report; second role, the report; third role, and the report, right? And hence you can see your report role wise, and you can understand for what role, what enhancement, and what action items you should take. This is what we are building now. It is a big workflow. It will be complex. That's why we'll be building it from scratch, and we'll be discussing line by line what each and every function do and how you can automate each and everything. Now, before we move ahead and discuss more about this, I'd like to show you the end-to-end report, or basically the end report which this agent which we are gonna build in this session have created for me. So let me go through that. This is the GitHub repo, and I have already built it and I have already uploaded in the AI Engineering 101 GitHub repo. So if you are watching this playlist from the start, I guess this is the 10th or 11th video, and if you're watching this from start, you will know that all the videos in this playlist, the source code for those videos, which are the source code explained on those videos, is present in this AI Engineering 101 GitHub repo, which is linked in the video description, and it is always linked in every video description of the playlist, so you can easily find it. Now, the Google Job Search Agent is the name of the agent which we are building. It's here in the AI Engineering 101 repo, and this is the code structure currently looks like. So this is the agent graph where we have all the logic for building this agentic workflow. We also have a report where the agent will gonna put the report. So once the report is maintained, or once the report is created by the agent, it will gonna put the report here, or basically place it here. Knowledge base will have the resume. So if you want the agent to pick a resume, you place your resume here, and it depends upon like you, whatever however you want to put your resume. It can be your resume, it can be someone else's resume as well, whose resume you want to analyze. Now here in this knowledge base, I have placed one resume. It's a sample software engineering resume. The resume has 3 to 4 years of experience, and it's a software engineering resume. Now for that resume, this is how the report looks like. I also have a sample report which basically tells you how the report is generated, or what is the structure of the report. The report is generated in the markdown format. So this is the report which was generated by the agent. We can see it here. So yeah, Google Suite job role report, and it is based in India because I wanted to surface only India based roles, and that is why. The report is generated after analyzing on your resume for the top 3 most suited open Google job roles, right? So what the agent has done is that it has provided us with 3 roles after analyzing the resume. The resume also had a lot of machine learning and AI based content. That's why the agent has recommended software engineering, AI infrastructure, cloud, ML role. That is the first role. This is how the feedback looks like. The first one is the qualification, and it has minimum qualification where it lines out what are the minimum qualification required for this particular role. First is 5 years of experience with software development in one or more programming language, which it also tells does the candidate meet the qualification. So this is a no, because I guess in the resume the candidate has only 4 years of experience. A bachelor's degree or equivalent practical experience, yes. I guess in resume the candidate has mentioned that they have a BTech. And okay, they have a BTech in electronics and communications engineering. Cool, that makes sense. 3 years of experience with ML infrastructure, and the candidate does not meet the qualification, and in this way it will gonna build a report. You can see a lot of 2 yeses and 3 no's. So it basically telling the candidate that you should not apply for this role right away, because these are the places where you are lacking, or your resume is lacking. So you should enhance your resume and work on it. And once it passes the minimum qualification, the preferred qualification, and the roles responsibilities checks, and once there is no major actionable feedback, then you can maybe apply for this role. So a lot of feedbacks has also been provided by the agent. Gain experience with ML infrastructure orchestration tools. Consider pursuing a master's degree in computer science or related field. Okay, a lot of things are there. Now you can basically read through it and you can understand what is important or not. Second role is software engineering 3 AI ML photos, and the last role is software engineer 3 full stack. So I guess the resume is suggesting the roles which is mostly mid-level roles, which has experience of 4 to 5 years. Now the good thing is in the report you get the role, but along with the role you also get the link to it. So if you want to see actually where it picked this role from, so I can basically click here and I'll be directed to that role, because it's a link. So this is software engineer AI infrastructure cloud ML, and this is how the role looks like. Minimum qualification, preferred qualification, about the job, and the responsibilities. And the agent has suggested this role, and the content has been picked from here to analyze against the candidate's resume. So I can go back to the report. So yeah, this is how the report looks like. Now I can quickly also show you how the Google Careers page looks like. So this is one of the this is actually the Google Careers page. I have a lot of filters. First one is the location filter, which I have set to India. Second is the experience, which I have set to the mid-level experience roles. And the organization role is Google. Apart from that, I can also set the job type to full-time because I'm looking for full-time roles. And then you can also select a software engineering filter so that you can only get a SWE role. So a lot of these filters are there. We can use these filters in our agentic workflow to filter through the roles. So I get only familiar roles, and after that I can let the agent do the heavy lifting, go through these roles and go through my resume and recommend important roles among it. So there is two level of filtering. The obvious filtering, I can directly do it on my end, and after that, once from the obvious filtering I get some roles, then I can again do a second layer of filtering, which the AI agent will do, which will gonna go through these open roles, and it will gonna analyze my resume, and it will gonna tell that what roles are super important or super critical to apply for, and what are the roles which are not that important, so we can filter them out. So this is the idea we are going for. Now let me go back to the notebook here, and I've already explained this design, so we're gonna move forward to the problem statement. This is how the problem statement looks like. Build an agent that can analyze your resume and open positions on the Google Careers page to recommend most relevant roles, and then analyze those roles against your resume to prepare a detailed report documenting your strengths, gaps, and preparation strategies. And that's what I actually showcased in the report, which the agent has generated. Now there are three things which is happening, which is super important. The first one is it scrapes the Google Careers page with additional filters. So the filters I talked about, the location, the obvious location filters, full-time role filter, a lot of things. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna write some code which will allow our agent to scrape through the Google Careers page with the filters, and it will gonna pull the open job role link. I'll show you how it will pull that. So it pulls all the open position links present on the Google Careers with the filters. Now then what it does is that once we have the roles with us, it recommends the top and relevant roles after analyzing the resume. So what it does is that it gets those roles, it analyzes all those roles, and then it analyzes your resume as well, and on the basis of your resume it picks the top and relevant roles. Now here for you can take 10 roles as well. I have taken maybe 5 to 6, so it will gonna recommend 5 to 6 roles to you. After it has recommended the top roles, or basically after it has selected those top roles, what it will do is that it will gonna analyze your resume again to build a detailed report for each role, the way we saw in the report here, right? So the report will be at a role level. So for every role you get a detailed report on what you can improve, what is lacking, what is what is getting fulfilled. Each and everything will be there in the report. Okay, now after the problem statement, what we can look towards is the detailed design. Now above we have explained the design, but that was a very high level design. This is a detailed design where I'm telling each and everything what I'm doing, actually what the agent is doing. So the first, it starts from this node which extract jobs at Google. Location is India, job level is early. So what we can do is that we can provide filters like this. You can provide different filters as well. Maybe if you're based out of US, you can select US in the location. Maybe you are a senior level, then you can maybe set job level to mid or senior. And then once it fetches the job roles, the open roles is fetched here, and those open roles are analyzed against the resume. And once these open roles are analyzed against the resume, then the agent recommends top and recommended roles, or top and roles from all the open roles which it has selected. Now once we have the maybe top 5 or top 6 recommended roles on the basis of our resume, it iterates on each role and it pulls these information from each and every role. So for each role, it extracts minimum qualification, preferred qualification, and responsibilities. Once these information, this is happening for each and every role. So for each role, it extracts these 3 information, and then These three information are analyzed against the resume and it generates a report. So at a point of time, the agent has minimum qualification, preferred qualification, and responsibilities for an open role, and it also has the resume of the candidate. So it analyzes these two information and it generates a report. And then this is happening for each role. So it appends role after the role. So for first role it generated the report, then it appends the content for the second role, then it appends the content for the third role, and so on. And that's how the report structure look like as what we saw earlier. So in the report for the first role the content was there, then it was there for the second role, then for the third role, right? And that's why it is generating a report at a role level. So this is how the report looks like. Now I can show you, this is the picture of the report, which we have, I guess, already discussed the report in detail. So yeah, so this is how the design looks like. Now it's time for building this. So let's move forward and let's build this agent from scratch, and let's see how it runs and what it generates for us. So we are here at the code base, and I'll quickly show you first how we are scraping the Google Careers page. So let me quickly open this up. This is a notebook. This is not the exact graph logic. It only has the logic important for basically scraping the Google Careers page. So these are some constants which I guess I'll gonna explain later, but this is the method which we should understand, get all URLs. What it does is that given a base URL, it fetches all the URL currently present on that page. So I can give the Google Careers page, and it will gonna fetch me all the URLs present on the careers page. So when I open a careers page, all the open roles are there, the URL for the open roles are there, so it can fetch that. But the interesting thing is a lot of other URLs are also there. So there can be multiple other URLs present on a page which is not relevant to us. So we need to filter that out as well, and we have a mechanism to do that. So get all URLs fetches all the URLs for a page, and get Google job URLs takes those URLs and filters the specific URLs, or basically filter out the unwanted URLs. So this URL will gonna have multiple URLs present on the page, but we are interested only on the URL of the open positions. So we're gonna keep those and we're gonna filter the rest of the roles. So I can quickly run it, and now I have these methods defined. Get URL content method, it basically fetches the content of a URL, so I can define that as well. Now I can run get all URLs on the base URL. What the base URL is? Base URL has the initial URL which we are fetching, or basically the content for which we are fetching. So this is the Google Careers base URL, Google Careers page URL. Now we have a lot of filter here which I explained earlier. The first filter is on the location, and then there is a filter on what is the type of the role. It's a full-time role, and company is Google, which is pretty obvious, so we don't need to worry about this. So this is the base URL, and I can give it to the get all URLs, and I can get all the URLs present here. But the problem is get all URLs will gonna give me all the URLs present on the careers page, and a lot of URLs from there will be junk. So we might need to filter that out. So if I run this, you'll see the URLs which are fetched. So it is giving me a list of URLs, but there is a lot of URLs which we not need. So about careers application we don't need, but yeah, these roles, these links, job results query equal to this, job results query equal to that, these are the links which are important, and this is the one which we need. So you see job result query equal to software engineering employment type full time, right? So these are the roles which we'll need, and these are the roles which will gonna filter out, because these are the actual roles, these are the actual open position roles, right? And yeah, here as well, jobs results, and this is the job ID for which is picked from this careers page. This is also job results, job ID picked from the careers page. We want these are the roles which are highlighted. Now how to, given this list, how to filter out the roles for the open position. So you'll see the interesting thing is every list, every URL which is pointing to the Google open position role has a prefix of jobs result followed by that job ID. So I can leverage that. So what I'll do is that what I have done here in the method is I have simply iterated over all the URLs and I have only fetched those URL which starts with this prefix. This is a constant. You'll see the value is jobs results. So once I filtered this out, we'll have all the Google job URLs. So I can filter all the other URLs which does not have this prefix and I'll get the job URLs. So there is a second level of filtering which I'll do here, which I'll pass the URLs which has each and every URL to the get Google job URLs, and I'll filter the URLs out. So if I run this, this is how it looks like. Now I have the URLs which I need. One more interesting thing to notice, while filtering, I also appended the prefix, because the URL which I scrapped out is a part of a URL which starts with jobs result. In order to complete it, we have to append this prefix which is constant, which is google.com/about/careers/applications. So once you append it with the URL, you will get a full-fledged link of that open position. And that is what we have done. Now this is a particular full-fledged URL. You can see senior staff software engineer AI ML Gen AI, similar to this software engineer multimedia camera kernel. So a lot of roles are there. Now this is the role. Now this is for one page. We can do it for all the pages present, and we can scrape out all the roles. Now this was for scraping. Now moving forward, we're gonna go to the agent graph which has the entire business logic of our workflow, and we'll see how we can build that from scratch. Okay, so we are here at the code base again, and now let's look forward to the agent graph which holds the entire business logic of the agentic workflow. So let me collapse this, and here how this code looks like. The first few lines are the import statements, and all of these are open source libraries, so it shouldn't be difficult to import all of these. Now once we have imported the required libraries, the first thing is the base URL. The base URL is again the base URL of the Google Careers page. Now we have the filters as I mentioned earlier. We have the job link prefix which we discussed already. We have fetched Google job URL prefix. On the basis of we'll decide what are the Google open position URLs. There are some questions, minimum qualification, preferred, and job responsibilities, which I'll show you again when we move ahead. Now there are some helper methods. First is get all URLs. We have already explained this. It fetches all the URLs present on the page. Get Google job URLs. We have already explained earlier. It filters out the unwanted URLs and only keep the Google job and Google open position URLs with us. And get URL content, we have also discussed. It fetches the content of a particular URL. Now here the workflow code starts. The first node is get Google jobs content. Now what it does is that it fetches all the open roles. It basically fetches all the Google open roles present on the careers page given the filter. So if we see carefully here, the filters which we have is the employment type, which is a full-time role, company is Google, and location in India. So in India, we are looking for all the full-time positions. Now, additionally, what we have here is extracting Google open roles for a particular page. So what we are doing is that we are going page-wise. So that's what you'll see here. We have decided this page ID to be 1. So we'll starting with the first page, and then we are moving to the next page and the next and the next. We are moving in an infinite loop, and we are stopping when we stop getting any jobs. So when we exceeded the page limit, and at the particular page, if there is no open role, we'll understand that we are at the end and there is no more open roles. So it's time to stop. Now for every page, we are getting all the URLs present on that page. Right, and this is the method get all URLs. What it does is that it takes the base URL and the page. So I can quickly show you that we have already discussed. Now this is the page here. So on the base URL, I am adding the filter, which is the page filter depending upon the page I have, and one more filter is here, which is the target level. So I am looking for the mid-level roles here. You can also edit it and make it early level or a senior level position. You can also remove it as well if you want all the roles. The important thing is the page, because we want to filter it page by page. And I can go back. We have already discussed that method. So get all URLs, give me all the URLs for this particular page, and I'll see I'll filter out the exact Google URLs by calling this method which we discussed earlier. It will give me the current page Google job URLs. After that, I can put that in the parent Google job URLs, which holds all the URLs which we extracted, and then we increment the page. So we are saying that okay, this page is done. Let's move on to the next page, and we'll see if at a particular page the current page Google job role is 0, meaning that we did not get any roles on this page. We'll see that, we'll understand that we are at the end of the page, and then we're gonna break. So in this way it will gonna page by page, and once it ends it will gonna break. After that, once this is done, we will have all the Google job roles in this Google job URLs. Now we have all the roles. Now the second part is, the second phase of filtering is, the agent has to get the resume and get these roles, and they have to understand what are the important roles, right? And then what are the roles which it should recommend. So what it does is that it starts crunching the job content. Now how it does, it gets the URL content of the Google job URLs. Now this is one more method, you can see it here. What it does is that given the URL, it tries to get the content. So I can give multiple URLs and it will give me multiple content of the URLs. Now in order to like enhance the performance, I have introduced parallelism. So every second I am analyzing 10 requests. So basically every second it will gonna analyze 10 URLs. It will gonna pull the content of 10 URLs together so that I can save some time, because I have a lot of roles to analyze. So get URL content, give me the content of the roles. Now it will give me a list of documents where every document will have the content of every job role. Now the Google job content, it will gonna, it's an array, so it is appending the information. So first information is the link, where in the content metadata source. So the important thing to note here is get URL content calls web-based loader. It's an open source library provided by LangChain. As a response, it provides me the content of the web page, but along with that it also provides me the title and the source of the web page. So basically it will give me the link and the title as well. Now this information is present in the metadata, and the page content is present in the page content. So I'm building an object that has all the information. So given a Google open position link, and given the Google open position link and given the Google open position title, what was the content of that role? Okay, so this is the information which I have, and I'll get it for all the roles which I have extracted. And this is called Google job content, which will have the content of all the URLs. So now what I have is that all the roles present on the Google careers page, for the filter which I have suggested, it has the link of the role, it has the title of the role, and it also has the content of the role, and it returns this. This is what the node does. Now we have a get model. Now this is not a very complex method. What it does is that it decides whether you want to load from Hugging Face or not. So if you have Hugging Face, if you have access to Hugging Face model, you can switch this flag to true while calling this method, and you will get a Hugging Face model depending upon the repo and depending upon the configurations which you have mentioned. So here I have mentioned GPT OSS 120B model. So it's the recent open source model released by OpenAI. The GPT OSS 120 billion parameter model. So if I switch it to true, I'll get this model. Otherwise, I'll get the standard chat OpenAI GPT-4 model. And this is the one which I've already paid for. So I have some credits and I'll use that. This is the get model. Then there is resume content and related job roles. And then there are a couple of more methods which do a lot of things which I'm gonna explain. It's a big one. So let's move forward to the exact control logic where I am exactly executing this, so that we'll be able to understand how the control flow moves. So Google job contents, we already discussed this method. This gives me all the content of the jobs along with their URL and the title. Now once we have this, we'll get the resume content, because in order to analyze these roles, the agent should have the content of our resume. Get resume content is also very simple. I can directly go to the definition here. This is how it looks like. We are using PyPDF loader. It's another open source library provided by LangChain. What it does is that given a PDF, it will gonna read the content of that PDF. Now, generally, most of the 90% of the time, the resumes are in PDF, and here I am using a dummy resume, and this is the knowledge. I have put the resume in the knowledge base, so I am picking the resume from the knowledge base. You can also place your resume in the knowledge base, and you can rename this resume by the name of the resume which you have placed in the knowledge base, and the agent will gonna pick the content from the resume, and it will gonna analyze further. Now this is a boilerplate code for actually loading or picking the content from the resume, and once we have the content, we join all the content. So if you have multiple pages, it will gonna have multiple page content. We'll join it to make a single content, and we return this. So basically we return the resume content. This is what it does. Very simple method. So now once these two methods are done, we'll have the Google job content and the resume content. What we can do is that we can give it to this method, get related job roles. Now this is the method where our agent will gonna see the resume content, will see the job content, and will gonna tell whether this job is important or recommended or not. Let's quickly go to the definition of this method. This is how the method looks like. First, it gets the model. We have already explained. Currently, I have switched this flag, so I am getting the OpenAI GPT-4 model. Now, in the job roles, I am getting the title for all the roles. So all the roles which I have extracted from the careers page, I am listing the title here. And once the title is listed, so I am placing all the titles comma separated. So title 1 comma separated title 2. Things like that. After that, I am writing my template. I am providing the role and the candidate resume, and I'm asking the agent to provide me the important role. Now, this looks vague because we haven't gone through the prompt. So I'm gonna show you what the prompt looks like. Let me go to it. Related job roles prompt. Now what it says is, you're an expert in coaching new candidate for cracking interviews at Google. You have been provided with the job roles comma separated, because that's what we have provided, and the candidate's resume content. Please select the top 5 related job roles, new line separated, among the provided ones for the candidate based on their resume. Please keep the job roles unchanged and do not modify them. Okay, this is what we are getting. So we are giving comma separated job roles to the agent, and what we want in response is top 5 relatable job roles after assessing the candidate's resume. And this is what it will ask the agent or the large language model to do. Now once we put that in the template, we also have to give the comma separated job roles and the resume for the agent to analyze, and then we can execute this and we can get the response, and we'll expect the response will have comma separated roles. So what we'll do is that we're gonna split this, sorry, not the comma separated, we are giving the comma separated roles, but in response we are getting the new line separated roles because that was there in the prompt. So we'll get roles separated by new lines. So we're gonna split those roles so that we can have an array of open recommended roles, and then we can give it to this method, get recommended role profile. Now the response from the agent is given to this method along with the open roles. Now the open roles was the initially what the role was. Now interesting thing to note is here when we get the response from the agent, we'll only get the title or the name of the role, but we'll also need the content of the role in future to build the report, right? That's why this method is, what this method does is that the open roles has all the roles along with their content, and now we have the selected name of the role. So in the open roles, we can go to all the roles and we can see which role was recommended by the agent, and we're gonna keep that particular role along with their content so that we can give it ahead for building the report. This is how this method looks like. This is the recommended role titles, which was generated by the model. This is the open roles which we extracted from the careers page. Now it prints the recommended role title. So basically it tells you that what are the roles which the agent recommended, and after that it goes ahead and it builds an array of recommended role title. Now what it does is that it is basically going over all the recommended roles, and it is converting them into lower cases, and it is stripping any starting and ending spaces if they have, so that like we can easily find it in the open roles. So basically what it is doing is that it is just formatting the role titles which we received from the LLM. Now once we have this, what we do is that we loop over the open roles, and for every role we are seeing that if the title of that role is present in the recommended role title or not. Meaning if this is true, then we can confidently say that this role is recommended by our agent, and we'll put that in the recommended role profile. So initially the recommended role profile is empty. We put this open role in the recommended role profile, and then once we are done with this loop, we'll build with this recommended role profile will be returned. So we return this recommended role profile. This recommended role profile will have all the roles present. Okay. And hence after this, like after executing this method, get related job roles will have the job roles, and this job roles will have the title of the role which was recommended by the agent. Along with that, we'll also have the content of that particular job role, and hence we can print that what are the recommended job roles along with the title. Okay, now this is what we have. After that, what we are doing is that we are checking what is the length of the related job roles. So we are checking that whether the agent recommended any roles or not. Now this is important because suppose I gave a PDF which was not a resume, which was some random document, then obviously the agent will not gonna recommend you any role on the basis of that document, because that was not a resume, it was some unrelated document. And in that case, you might get this related job roles to be empty. So if it is empty, then there is no point of making any further analysis and the report. You can directly end the graph saying no related job role found based on the resume content. So then I'll have idea that there is something wrong with the resume. If there is related job roles, if there are some job roles recommended by the agent, then I can start generating the report. Now this is the method analyze recommended role, which gives the content of the generated report, and then I can successfully say that report generated, and then I can add some title to the report. The title is Google Sui job role report in India. For Markdown, you have to add a hashtag if you want a H1 title. For H2 title, you have to do 2 hashtags. Then I'm appending a subtitle, which is saying this report is generated after analyzing your resume. For the top, max roles is the number of roles I am analyzing here, most suited open Google job roles. And then there is some new lines. After that, from the generated report, I am picking all the reports where the first line is the title of the role and the link of the role. So that's what you saw in the report, the title, which was a link so that you can click and you can directly go to the open position. That's what I am placing here. After that, I am placing the report content, which was generated by this analyze recommended roles method. And this is how I am building the report. So since the report is at a role level, I am iterating through the report for each role, and I am appending it one by one in the final report. Once the final report is prepared, I am storing it in the report directory with the name report.markdown, so that this final report is written to this report.markdown file, and once it is done, I print report saved and the graph will end, and then you will gonna understand that okay, the report is saved. So you can go to the report directory and you can see what report has been created by your agent, right? This is the overall control flow. The only thing missing is the analyze recommended roles. So this is the method which we're gonna walk through next, and we'll see how it actually builds the entire resume role by role, given the related job roles or the recommended job roles and the resume content of the candidate. Now let's quickly go to the analyze recommended roles and see this. Let's see what this last method does. So this is the method which takes the recommended roles which was provided by the agent and the resume content of the candidate, and it will gonna build the report. Now what it does is that it loops through the roles one by one. As I mentioned that the report is at a role level. So for every recommended role, it prints analyzing your resume for this particular role. Now the model is, it fetches the model. This is the method which we have already explained. There are three more methods, which is get minimum qualification, get preferred qualification, and get job responsibilities. So what this method does is that given the content of the recommended role, it fetches the minimum qualification required for that role from the content. This method fetches the preferred qualification from the content, and this method fetches the job responsibilities from the content. Now, once these three method executes, we have the minimum qualification, preferred qualification, and the job responsibilities. Now let's quickly understand what these methods are. These are very small methods, which only does is that it picks the standard prompt, which is basically the rack prompt, which says that given a context and the question, give me the answer. This is the basic prompt. Now, in this prompt, once the prompt is given, I also have to give the context and the question for the model to answer. So the context will be obviously be the content of the job profile, and the question is the minimum qualification question. Now this is a question which we have defined above as a constant. What are the minimum qualifications in the job? Now given the job content, I am asking what is the minimum qualifications in the job. So it will gonna give me the minimum qualification from the job content. Similar for the preferred qualification and the job responsibilities. The only difference is we have changed the question. We have preferred qualification question, which is what are the preferred qualification in the job. Job responsibilities question asks what are the responsibilities in the job. Now these will give the three different information: minimum qualification, preferred qualification, and job responsibilities. And once this is done, we get all these three information. We're gonna give it to the agent for analysis. For analysis, we have a different prompt, which is resume analysis prompt. I can show you here in the prompt. This is a big prompt. You are an expert in coaching new candidates for cracking interviews at Google. You have been provided with the minimum qualification, preferred qualification, and responsibilities required for the role and the candidate's resume content. Please provide the candidate with the detailed report on the following. Does the candidate meet the minimum and preferred qualification? If not, what are the gaps? How can the candidate improve to meet the minimum qualification? Same for preferred qualification and job responsibilities. Some actionable feedback for the candidate to improve. Additional resources or skills that candidate should focus. And please provide the feedback in the markdown format. You can use tables for clarity, and please keep the response within 2000 words. Right, so for every report we are generating, for every report, basically for every role we are generating the report. This is the prompt we are giving. Along with the prompt, we are giving the minimum qualification, which we pulled from the job role. We are also giving preferred qualification and the responsibilities, which we also pulled from the job role content. We are also giving the candidate resume, which we pulled from the resume PDF file. And once this is done, this is the prompt which we have built, and we are invoking this chain with the information, with all these informations which we are providing, and we are getting the response. Now this is the response. This response will hold the report for a particular role. Now this has to be done repeatedly for all the recommended roles, and we are saving this in a reports array. So this, we are building an object where title is the recommended role title, link is the link to that recommended role, and report is the report generated by the AI agent for that particular role. That is the response which we got from this while providing these prompt to the large language model. Now this is the fully fledged array of reports of each roles. This is what is being returned by the analyzed recommended roles. Now we have already seen, once this is returned, the generated reports will have this list of reports, and we are iterating through this list to build up the final report. We start building with providing the title and subtitle to the report, and after that, once it is provided, the first thing we do is that we provided the title of the particular role along with the link, so that we can, clicking on the title, we can go to that role if we want to double check. After that, we are providing the report which was generated by the large language model for that particular report, and we are doing it for all the reports. And then after that, we are writing this final report content into the report markdown file within the report directory, and we are saying report saved. And this is how our agent is generating the fully fledged report, pulling after going through the Google's career page, and then recommending the roles based on the resume, and then generating the report after analyzing the resume and the role content. So let me quickly run this. I'm executing it using the Python command. So I'm executing the graph here, and this is how it looks like. It is extracting the open roles page by page, and when it will reaches to the end page, when it will reach the end page, it will basically get no roles and will understand it's time to stop. So here it has stopped, and now it is crunching the job content. Now it takes some time to crunch the job content because we have a lot of roles, because we looked around five pages of open positions. So you generally there are 10 to 20 roles on every pages, so you can expect 100 open roles it has currently extracted. Now we have, from those 100 roles, we have to recommend important roles after analyzing the resume. So the agent will gonna analyze those 100 roles and the resume, and will gonna provide some top roles from that. So it can be top 5 or top 6 roles, and after that it will gonna generate the report. So this takes some time, and yeah, it will probably, once it has crunched the job content, it will gonna go, okay, you can see the recommended role. The first role is software engineer, AI infrastructure, cloud ML, and okay, recommended. Okay, there are some recommended job roles as well: software engineer, AI infrastructure, cloud ML, Google careers, software engineering 3, SWE 3, IML, cloud, Google cloud. I guess it has recommended 5 to 6 roles from the 100 roles which it has extracted. And after that, it is analyzing the resume. So it is analyzing the resume for software engineering, AI infrastructure, cloud ML role. So basically what it is doing is that it is building the report for this particular role. After that, it will maybe start building for another role, and role by role it will gonna build the report, and once it is done, it will gonna save it. So it is analyzing my resume role by role, and now it is analyzing for SWE 3 full stack core Google careers role. Okay, now the report has generated and the report is saved. So I can quickly go and I can see how my report looks like. So I'll go to the report directory. I'll open the report file, and this is the markdown file. So it would be helpful if I can actually preview this markdown. This is how the markdown looks like. And Google SWE job role India, this is the role, this is the link. So I can click on this link and I'll be directed to there. This is the candidate feedback. We have gone through this report. I am actually showing again live how, once we run it, how the report looks like. So this is how the report will actually look like. It will have multiple details. Now these information, this is for a single role. Now these information will be there for another role and another role as well. So this is a detailed report on the first role. After that, we have roles and we have responsibilities, whether the resume fulfills the responsibilities for that role or not. We have some actionable feedback and additional resources which the agent thinks thinks I can maybe use to prepare for this role. And I guess, yeah, we have, okay, then we have another role. Okay, I guess the agent has recommended multiple roles as we mentioned in the graph, and that's why it has now generated a report for the second role. And some gaps, how can the candidate improve to meet the minimum qualification. A lot of these things are here which you can maybe generate the report and you can read it yourself. Then there is a third role, which is the SWE 3 full stack core Google careers role. Now these are the 3 SWE based roles which the agent has recommended after analyzing the resume. And all the title of these roles are actually linked as well, linked to the role present on the Google careers page. So if I click on the title of the role, I'll be directed to the careers page, and that you can actually see. So the particular role, you'll see how this particular roles looks like. So now we are at the end of the video. We have discussed in very detailed manner how you can build an agent like this from scratch. And what we did is that we extracted all the recommended roles from the careers page, and we built a report, or basically we built a workflow that can create a report for us after analyzing our resume and the recommended roles, and a detailed report for us basically, which we can read through, and we can take some actionable items, or we can understand how close we are to this for applying to this role, or do we have to hold back and prepare some more and add some more content on the resume before applying to it? This was the end goal of the agent, and we have built it from scratch, so I hope you liked it. Again, to move back, this is the directory, the code base of the agent which I have created. This is uploaded on GitHub, and the link to the repo is present in the description of this video. And yeah, this was the AI Engineering 101 series. This was one of the episodes of the AI Engineering 101 series which we are creating. And if you like this video, you can probably like it, you can share it with others, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll meet you in the next video.